So I know I said I experienced like some lightness earlier, and I guess I did have a little bit more lightness, but I still felt like really heavy when I was trying to run. It was just like this kind of heaviness that I had. But I was able to run a lot faster. And not only that, yo, what's up guys? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about Cardarine and my first impressions with it. Cardarine is also known as GW501516, which is an endurance booster, non-stimulant, non-steroidal endurance enhancer. Was created in the 90s by Ligand Pharmaceuticals and GlaxoSmithKline fucking drug company, whatever they are. I'm not going to give you the whole backstory on Cardarine. I'm assuming if you've watched this video, you know like enough about it, if you found it. But basically, like the one sentence explanation is that it's this endurance booster, which was abandoned, I think in phase 1 or phase 2 trials because it was found to give mice cancer at all doses. All right, so it's not really the type of thing that you hear talked about too much because people are kind of scared to take it because there's all these studies about it giving I want to say it's only mice. I'm not sure if it's rats also. I think it's just mice cancer. So anyway, don't want to get into that right now, but this drug has been around since the 90s and there are no like human reports of people getting cancer from taking it, which is why I decided to take a chance and experiment with it. Okay, so my experience with it is that this shit is fucking insane, like crazy insane when it comes to boosting your endurance. All right, so basically here's my experience with it. Right, it arrived yesterday and I've been waiting for this shit to get here for a really long time. Right, I ordered this maybe 6 weeks ago. It took a lot longer than I expected it to get here. I've wanted something to boost my endurance because I really like supplements that will increase my stamina and increase my endurance because of the type of lifestyle that I live, right? I fly every week for 5, 6, sometimes 7 hours, 2 days a week. That's hard on my body. I work shows where I'm on my feet, I'm talking, I'm trying to sell. It's a high pressure job. That's also exhausting. I want to maintain like a good physical fitness level, which means that throughout all of this, I have to find time to exercise. And I have high standards for myself when it comes to exercise. So that means I have to do fairly intense workouts. So something that promises to increase endurance and make it easier for me to work out and easier for me to have good workouts, that's a very attractive substance for me. And in fact, most of the other substances that I take also kind of fit that bill. So anyway, it finally got here yesterday. Now, this weekend, I was working a show in Tulsa and it was very exhausting, right? It was only a 2-day show, but the day before I took the GW, so yesterday I took the Cardarine. The day before that, I woke up in the morning, right? I went and I worked out. I did squats for like an hour, heavy squats. And then I worked the show for like 5 hours on my feet, you know, trying to sell, whatever. 5 hours is not so bad for me. But then after the show, I went and I worked out again and I did 100 burpees, right? So fairly like active day. And the day before that, the work at the show was a lot more intense because it was a longer day and it was Saturday, so it was busier. So I was expending more energy. And I also worked out in the morning on that day. And then, you know, at night, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but I had a beer. And for me to have a beer it's a big deal for me to have one beer because I get pretty tipsy from just one beer because I don't drink. Okay, and then the night that I did the 100 burpees, right, which was 2 nights ago, I only got about 4 hours sleep because I had a very early flight in the morning. My flight was at 7, which means I had to basically be out the door by 5:30, which means I had to wake up at 5. And you guys know how it is sometimes when you set your alarm for a very early hour and you go to bed reasonably late, you're in this kind of state of like waking up every hour until you actually have to go. You don't really get that good of sleep. It's a very light sleep, okay? So I had a very light, constantly waking up, 4 hours block of sleep. And then on top of that, I was on a fucking plane for 5 hours, which is not a very you're not really able to relax, and it's not really rest. Yeah, you're sitting down, but you're not really, I guess you are resting, but it's also kind of exhausting to fly. So anyway, I got back yesterday and I knew from checking the tracking information that my Cardarine had arrived. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. Like, you know, I'm gonna try it, right? So I took 17 milligrams. I wanted to do 10, but like a little too much powder came out and I was like, or whatever, I'll just fucking take 17. So I took 17 milligrams and right away I got this feeling of like lightness, right? I just felt much more light. I don't really know how to put it, but it was just kind of like, I just felt a little bit raised up. You know what I mean? I don't really know how to explain it. And this was at around maybe noon Pacific time. So I'd already been up for which would put me at about 2 o'clock Tulsa time, which is when I flew. So I'd already been up for maybe about, 9 hours, let's say, roughly, give or take. Yeah, about 9 hours. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go work out. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Now, the issue with that is that because I'm leaving Vegas in a few days, I don't have a car anymore, right? I like returned the car that I was renting. And the gym is 2.5 miles away. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna run to the gym and I'm gonna work out and then I'm gonna run back, right? Let's like put this through an actual test. So not only did I fucking run to the gym, but I was like fucking zooming, okay? Now, the interesting thing about Cardarine is that from what I've read, it increases your endurance, it increases your like aerobic capacity. So my muscles would still kind of get tired. I haven't really run a lot lately, so that, or maybe you don't know, but when you don't run for a long time, it's just like harder to move. I don't really know how to explain it. It's like harder to go through the actual running motion and you just feel really heavy. So I know I said I experienced like some lightness earlier, and I guess I did have a little bit more lightness, but I still felt like really heavy when I was trying to run. It was just like this kind of heaviness that I had. But I was able to run a lot faster. And not only that, one interesting little side effect is that I was talking to myself a lot when I was running. So not only was I able to push myself and run a lot faster, but I was able to kind of like talk while running. And, a test of how hard you're actually exercising is, it's called the talk test, right? It's like a thing in fitness to determine how hard you're actually working out, is if you can talk while you're doing whatever it is that you're doing. If I tried to smoke you right now and I said drop down and do 50 burpees as fast as you can, you probably wouldn't be able to talk. So anyway, the point is that I think it somehow like improved my aerobic capacity, and I fucking ran 2.5 miles to the gym. I ran faster than I normally would. And despite the fact that I had, I was approaching the overtraining, barrier from the past 2 or 3 days that I've been pushing myself, I was still able to run faster than I would have run before to the gym. Now, when I got to the gym, I had this kind of strange feeling of being rested, right? It's like, yeah, okay, I got to the gym, I kind of like sat down, chilled for a little bit. And usually what ends up happening, right? Because I've done this workout before. Well, I'll run to the gym and then I'll work out and then I'll run back. But usually what ends up happening is that when I run to the gym, I have this kind of feeling of exhaustion on me. And it's like my workout isn't as good and I just feel like I'm squeezed of all my fucking, energy, I guess. Interestingly enough, after sitting and resting for a few minutes, I felt fresh again. So I'm not really sure what it is exactly that Cardarine does that makes you fucking recover super fast, but it was definitely working when I took it. So I did my little workout and I was going to stay for longer. Basically what I did is I did military press, right? I was going to do shoulders, but I did military press and shrugs, and I did a heavier weight than I normally take. And I was able to do it kind of no problem. I felt stronger, I guess is the point, what I'm trying to say. Now, I ended up stopping my workout early because I think when I was doing the military press, I like hyperextended my back. So it was almost like a very minor injury, which happens sometimes when you work out. So I ended up cutting my workout short. But the only limiting factor in my workout was that pain in my lower back, right? I still felt fresh. I still felt like I was strong. It's just that every time I would do a rep, I would get a little bit of like a twinge in my lower back. And I was like, all right, that's enough. I still have to run back and, And anyway, I ran the 2.5 miles back, and I'm not going to say I felt like fresh and amazing, during that time, but I was still able to run reasonably quickly. I didn't have to stop and walk like I occasionally do when I run, I'll run for a little bit and then I'll stop and walk for like 10 seconds, especially when I haven't run for a long time. But during this time, I didn't actually have to do that. Now, when I came back, I ate, right? Actually, I was on the computer for like an hour, 2 hours, and then I ate. And then as soon as I ate, I fucking passed out. I was like, ended up going to bed yesterday at like 5:30 in the afternoon. So I took a nap basically for like an hour, hour and a half. And then I woke up and I was just kind of, watching stuff on YouTube and just totally gassed. Like I'd like hit the wall at that point. Now, today, when I woke up, possibly it could be from just being well rested or whatever, but I took it again today when I woke up, only 10 milligrams this time. And I still feel, it's kind of hard to explain. I just feel, it's like, I feel fresh, you know what I mean? It's just this type of, it's a type of substance where it always makes you feel fresh. So that's basically it. Just my first impressions. I've taken it literally only 2 times. I was planning on resting today because I'm really sore from all the burpees, right? Anytime I do burpees, like a lot of burpees like that, and I don't do them for a long time, I get really sore in my calves, my shoulders, my chest, even my fucking lats are sore somehow. So I was planning on taking the day off. We will see how the day goes. I might end up doing some yoga or something like that later. But so far, first impressions of Cardarine are amazing. It's incredible. I need to do a little bit more research into if this shit actually fucking gives you aggressive cancer. So if you have any experience with Cardarine, especially if you're like a long-time user of Cardarine, I would be happy to know your experience. Or if you can point me in the direction of some sort of research or even anecdotal evidence of people who have taken Cardarine for an extended period of time and don't have cancer or something like that, I would be happy to look at that. Okay, so what do you guys think about that? Let me know, leave me a comment. If you have any other suggestions for other types of videos that you want me to do, let me know. Also, I have a new personal training coaching program specifically for guys who are over 35 years old. If you're not over 35 or if you're a woman and you still want help with weight loss, you can always contact me. It's a 12-month program. It's definitely, I'm very proud of it. I call it the Poppy method. It covers nutrition, it covers supplementation, it covers exercise. It's literally like all in one, and I've designed it to be affordable because I want to actually like get this going and help people. I'm not trying to make $1 million. I just want to get people in and like get some testimonials and get this shit off the ground. Cool. So if you are interested in that, feel free to reach out. I will put my email in the description of this video. If not, like the video, leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see in the future. Peace.